Hello and welcome to Business Video Chat, where I talk to other businesses about video marketing, what they're doing, or any advice that they can give other businesses. And first off, I'd like your feedback in the comments because Business Video Chat is a terrible name. I'm bad with coming up with names. So what do you think I should call this series? Let me know in the comments. This week we have Elle Cloke from We Do Social Media. Hi, Elle.
Hello, how are you?
So why don't you tell us a bit about We Do Social Media and what you do?
So We Do Social Media has been running for 7 years, I think it was this year. Started in 2013 with just Linda and a business colleague. Soon after, the business colleague got headhunted for a big London job. So Linda was left running We Do all on her own. And just trying to float, I think, in a world that she didn't know anything about at the time. I came in maybe a year after, 2014 to 15, when I was 17 years old. And we started growing a business from there. So from charging £50 a month for social media management was at the time, which is just extraordinary now. Like we've gone from strength to strength ever since, which is amazing.
And you've recently finished the Story brand training as well?
Yes, that was amazing. So in the there was a gap for We Do Social Media where I actually came out and decided to go employed, which was great. It was a good opportunity for me to learn more. But in that time, not only did I love the fact that I could be my own boss, and I missed that a lot, which I'm sure many of us can relate to. I also missed the marketing aspect and what creative control you can have. I felt like my learning wasn't up to scratch at that point because I'd had 2 years away. And we started hearing about Story brand. So I read the book, really enjoyed it. There was 2 people in our network that became Story brand certified. And it was also very ethical, an ethical way of marketing. So I thought, right, okay, this actually looks like a really good thing to do. Not only going to learn the book more in depth, but I'm going to learn how I can really implement this to help other businesses, definitely during lockdowns and businesses going online. So we took the plunge and we decided to get certified. I must admit, I wouldn't look back. Greatest decision, because I know so much more, not just about social media, but about the whole marketing spectrum. It's been phenomenal.
So what's the core concept of Story brand?
So Story brand is essentially, it's about telling a story, but not your story, it's your customer's story. And we as a business helping these people are the guide. So opposed to us being, we can really help you, we're going to get you winning business and make you loads of money. No, we're going to just help you make more money. You're going to do it effectively, we'll help you implement it, but it's you that's going to succeed, not us. It's all about you, which again is what I love. It's not scaremongering. It's not instilling, oh my God, if I don't use these, I'm not going to get success. They're just going to help us and make us be our better selves.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I don't know if that did.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. It's about simplifying your message and telling a story through it. And a lot of, I see a lot of mistakes of people putting themselves as the hero in their story when they're advertising for customers, when it's actually the other way around. Everyone wants to be their own hero in their own story. What sort of clients do you work with?
Oh, so many you would not believe. I was thinking about this the other day. So we have loads of tradesmen, from plumbers to, well, I suppose it's kind of along the same lines, but builders, etc. Car garages, business coaches, local directories, magazines. So the whole spectrum on our front is very varied. But the good thing about that is, opposed to maybe one person might specialise in a certain industry of work, but for marketing, so let's say a marketing person might just specialise in doggy businesses. We just specialise in social media, and then just a little bit of the outskirts of marketing. So using StoryBrand to develop a brand message, but we'd implement that in their social media and give them the tools and a guide for them to implement the rest of their marketing themselves. So that's how it works. And the variety is just amazing. I learned so much. I never thought I'd know so much about plumbing. So now me and my other half have got a boiler problem or a radiator problem, it's me that fixes it.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I get that with my clients as well. And I'm doing tutorial videos. I'm like, oh no, I do that now.
Oh yeah, and you've got a plumber, haven't you?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Perfect.
I know what to do with a leaky tap. So one of the reasons I wanted to get you on here was I know a lot about doing video through YouTube, but not a lot about the social media side of things. So what would you say were the best platforms for social video?
I wouldn't actually say there's a wrong one. All of them except Pinterest, which not a lot of businesses are using, but should be. I do love Pinterest on a personal level. But Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, some of those short form, long form content can be really valuable depends on how you're using them, what it's for. I definitely recommend video on all your social media platforms. Apart from Google, don't allow video.
Yeah, I guess it's all the platforms are starting to move more towards video now. So I guess it's like where your customers are.
Yeah, that's exactly what you've got to think about. The more you know about your customer, which is why StoryBrand is so great, because you're mainly focused on your customer. You learn more about them as people and what they need. When you know what they need and what they're using, that's when you can determine where you should be marketing to them. So for example, with plumbers, unless they are mainly focused on getting commercial work with big realtors, then Facebook's usually their go-to to provide those resourceful videos that I've seen you've made before. Whereas if they are looking at more bigger commercial companies that are built like Taylor Wimpey, for example, then you might want to get on LinkedIn. But it'd be a different form of video. It wouldn't be how to fix a leaky tap. It'd be something completely different on developing problems.
So where do you think like Instagram fits into that?
I don't know. I think Instagram fits really well with a more consumer market, but a lot of businesses are going there. So I wouldn't have any problem. We're on Instagram, and if you are B2B, it can still work. I think, again, you've just got to tailor your content. So a big person that we've kind of come off is Gary Vee and his content model, where you have long form content and then you can snippet it down into sections. And it's spreading the right content on the different platforms. I don't see any harm in using Instagram as a tool where video can be utilised the most. It's easier to watch, it's eye-catching, and a lot of people just scroll through on their stories where you can add your videos onto there, and people will know instantly if they want to carry on watching or flick through. I would recommend it if you've got time to play with it and learn it.
So do you think you should produce different content for different platforms? I mean, that goes beyond video as well, just in social media posts in general.
Yeah, I think there's an extent where you do. Definitely cater your wording to the platform. If it's the same tip that can go across the whole thing, then yeah, great. But you don't want to be talking about one thing and the market on another platform is completely different. There's no point of sharing that information. This is why we usually recommend to customers, if they are doing it on their own, stick to one, master it, then go to another, then another. Yeah. Because it does take time. And if you're going to master a platform, you might as well start it in the right way, rather than going on to all of these amazing platforms that does have great benefits, but absolutely flopping and not getting anywhere. And then people are going onto your social media page going, wait, their last post was in 2018. Do they still exist? If they're not spending that time on their marketing, do I want them to be used?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I've heard that it's actually better if you're posting the same or similar content across multiple platforms. It's actually better to schedule it out over different days, so that if you got a customer on all the platforms, they're not instantly seeing the same content all the time. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I like that approach. Again, sometimes with other clients, it does depend. Sometimes we do post the same things on the same days, as some things can be missed. But I don't see any harm. And there is, I think, that you need to do is looking at the timings of when people are most engaging with your content. There's no point posting something at 6 a.m. if no one's up yet going to see your content. So again, it depends on your audience. And when you've built enough of a presence, you can really review those analytics and get some more solid data rather than playing a guessing game. Well, you know, most people are going to be sleeping at 5, so I'm not going to post then. Oh, 8:30, they're going to be commuting, so I won't post it then.
Yeah, and I'd look at my Facebook analytics a couple of months ago and realise that most people are on, or most of my audience are on between like 10 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. So now I know maybe that's just Facebook. Maybe that's just when most people are on Facebook.
I think, well, do you have that's a very extended lunch break. I want that.
yeah, that would be nice. Just a lunch break would be nice, to be honest.
Rather than eating your sandwich at your desk.
Yeah. What about Twitter? Because in terms of video, it's a really strange one, because obviously you got the 1 minute time limit. Then you've also got the very short post life as well. Yeah,
I think you still do need to utilise video, because people are more so than Facebook and Instagram. I would say people on Twitter are more scrolly. So you have got to be more eye-catching. If your video is eye-catching, and you know this from any long-form content or short-form content that you've ever created, it's got to be catching at the beginning, with the intro slide and then your first few words into the video. If you're not getting people's attention, then you're going to lose them. So I would suggest keeping a variety. Some posts without any images or videos can work really well on Twitter, because people are like, whoa, that's not got anything on there, let's have a look. But opposed to that, some people might not even see it because it's just text. So you have just got to mix around. And again, the analytics speak for themselves. What are people engaging with most? You're not going to have a definite answer for any business, because they've got to see what results they're getting themselves.
Yeah.
And for me to advise what works best for them, I probably wouldn't be able to say until I know what they're getting.
What would you say are some of the benefits of using video over text and images?
You know what? There's people that I've never met before in our local business network that have done videos or have selfies, let's say. And I feel like I know them off the back of my hand. I may have only met them once, like for 2 minutes maybe, or seen them just speak at a distance. And I'm like, she likes Tetris Orange or something, because they're so much more personal on their social media feeds. And I feel like videos really capture the personal moment of any business. For example, me and Linda, we're a family business. We want people to know that. So they're going to see more family business orientated content. And the perks of video, I feel, is where they're getting to know you as a business. If they think, oh, you know what, this guy likes rock, I'm not a rocker, he's probably not my sort of guy. This is completely, random here. But that's a good thing, because if they don't like you, then you might not like them either. You just might not have a good synergy, might not be good at working together, and that could save you so much time of figuring it out and potentially getting someone that actually you don't want or you don't need. You already got that filter just through video marketing, and you'll get the right people eventually through that, because they'll learn to know, like, and trust you.
So it's almost like you're getting your audience to self-select themselves, so you're only getting the good leads.
Exactly, yeah. If you think perfect example of videos are the Knowltons. I think it's just called Knowlton now, opposed to marketing. Their videos are so funny and capturing, but they're not going to get anyone boring now, because people that really want to make the effort in their marketing and that are a bit more fun-hearted or light-hearted and could go in a different direction with their content, they know they could go to the Knowltons and they would do that for them. opposed to the other way round. If you don't want that, you know, not to go there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, that being said, video, making it personal, things like that. Totally agree with you, because I have the similar thing with podcasts as well. After I've listened to a load of podcasts, I feel like I know the people. So it's very strange. Why wouldn't you just use video for all your posts? Why would you still use text and images?
I think you just got to mix it up, man. Definitely. Videos are great. At the end of the day, you got to think of it from two angles: your audience and yourself as a business, and what you can actually do. If you're putting too much pressure on yourself to do video, then they're not going to be great videos. And you have your clients you've got to cater to. Unless you have a team dedicated to marketing, then sometimes you will have to take a step back. Opposed to that, though, on the customer side, they might not want to watch videos all the time. They might just want to read something, or maybe you can provide a quote that's just a little bit more fulfilling. You don't have to have everything in a video, because I know it could be 10 seconds long, but some people don't want to listen to sound. If I'm at work or was at work, I can't scroll through social media. But if I did, if there was a video I wanted to watch, I wouldn't be able to, because I'm at work. So at least I can have a sneaky scroll at some pictures or something.
Yeah, a good thing I've learned recently is pattern interrupts as well. If people always see the same sort of content from you, it's, their mind sort of switches off a bit. But if you do something a little bit different one time, they're going to engage a lot more.
Yeah, the same old stuff. I completely agree.
So a big problem with, well, it's a problem and it's not, but a big thing with social media is post life. As we said, Twitter's very short, Facebook's a few days, LinkedIn's a lot better actually, it can be a few weeks. So would you say to post your video more than once so that you're getting the different audiences at different times?
So you can, and this I would label as evergreen content. So a post that you're posting today, you could post again next year and it still be completely relevant and reliable. Now, I wouldn't say the post that you do today, you post again tomorrow. Keep a time gap. If it is in that evergreen remit of it's still going to be reliable in a month's plus time, then I don't see any harm in reposting that. I look at Gary Vee again, he makes predictions. He's saying stuff that really is in a year's time. He can be reposting that, and he does repost, but it's also making sure it's being kept fresh. And it's using, so like a video like today, and this is exactly why I like to do this. I can, when you send me the video, for example, I'll be able to take snippets and put it on our social media platforms. And it's a more comfortable approach to doing video, but it's also, they can see the long form content if they want to, but if they don't want to, they can have snippets as well. So you're repurposing snippets of the content, which you can do in any form of your marketing.
Yeah, I love repurposing, because video content can take a while to produce, but if you can then turn that into shorter videos, a blog post, social media images, quotes, then you're saving time on what you're doing. Yeah,
for sure. I love it. Repurposing is my favorite thing to do.
It's just finding the time in the first place to make that really good long form bit of content, because running your own business, it's always a struggle between working on your business and working in your business.
I do completely. I mean, to be completely frank, I'm petrified of filming videos. And again, this is why I do things like this. And I like things like this because it's more comfortable. And then I know that in the next steps, I'm going to start filming more content. I've got ideas in the bank. I've got it written all on my walls that you can't see, thankfully. I've got books filled with video ideas, and we've had private conversations where we've discussed video ideas. It's just, you're running your own business and you're wearing many a hat.
Yeah.
Finding the time to do so is pretty stressful. But if you educate yourself enough or use the right people, then it doesn't have to be as timely as it could be. Yeah,
I mean, sometimes it's not even about time. Like, as you were saying, you've got all these ideas, but you've got this fear. So the more roadblocks you put up, the more challenges that you put in front of actually doing something, the less likely you are to do it. So, I mean, it's great that you're doing something like this, because you're pushing yourself forward. It's not as intense as doing a video by yourself to a camera, because you're chatting to someone. So yeah, sometimes it's finding those little way forwards to get you into doing the bigger things, because the worst thing you can do is not do anything at all.
I know, and you can think, oh, I need to get videos done, I need to do it. And the sort of roadblocks that I've definitely done to myself in the past, maybe not so much now. No, I need a good camera. Okay, shit, I've got the camera. Okay, well, I need a microphone. Right, okay, I've got the microphone. Well, I need to learn how to edit now. I don't know where to go to learn how to edit. Well, I do now, obviously. Yeah. I have been learning it, so I can't use that stumbling block anymore. But there's so many things that you could put in the way to stop you from progressing.
Do you think you're making up those reasons to stop you from just getting started and doing it?
Yes. That was definitely me back then.
Yeah.
And luckily, like back in the day, I had a lovely young lady that worked for us, and she dealt with that. She knew how to edit videos and film. She had her own equipment at home. So I kind of just said, here, you do it. But there wasn't any added benefits to that apart from her skill set. It should have been me in the camera, because people wanted to get to know myself and Linda, not the person behind the screen, I suppose, at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, I think doing things like this and just taking one step at a time is how you're going to get there. And if that's just a crappy 1 minute video on your phone, then good for you.
Yeah,
well
exactly.
done, and post it.
And what you'll find is, especially if you haven't done stuff like that before, as soon as you post it, you'll get loads of lovely comments from all your network and stuff. So it's going to give you the confidence to do more. It's just that first step is always the hardest to take.
Completely. I mean, and the tip that you've given me before that really helped was just film yourself. Don't post it anyway, just film yourself, talk to the camera. And I remember doing that, and I felt so awkward at first. I pressed play just so I could watch myself be an awkward mess. And, it's quite funny because I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, right.
Yeah.
And it took a little while, but once I did get comfortable, even just that one time, I was like, you know what, I can talk to this camera now. I know I've got my cats in the background and my fiance downstairs potentially listening, but it will get better over time. And everyone around you knows why you're doing it, so they're not going to judge you or be negative.
And that's the thing, as we were saying, it's all about letting people get to know you. So you just got to be yourself, because being nervous, it's a natural thing to do because you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. But if you're a bit weird and quirky, which pretty much everyone is, then people want to see that sort of thing. They want to see you. So you shouldn't be nervous about being on camera, because you just got to be yourself. Yeah,
and you find when you are nervous, the things that you want to come into light in your videos, definitely for me, is my randomness and just strange moments.
Yeah.
I don't do it, but I want that in there. There's a video that Graham Bewley posted, and it just had this moment where it stopped and he just went boop, and I was like, oh, that's a bit of me that's so quirky and just weird. But I need that. And then it comes to it and you just don't, do you? Like,
no, I've done that a few times. I've recorded saying it's a bit weird, and then when I'm editing it, I cut it out, I bottle it, because it's that it is scary. Like it's easier to put like a fake version of yourself out there, but that doesn't work as well. Actually letting the weirdness out is the really tough bit. I know, and we could be as weird as anything together. As soon as that camera comes out, you're just like, no, not today. I'm just going to be a straight stick up the what's it person for now. And then everyone meets you at a networking event and you're completely different. Yeah. So do you think maybe that's a benefit of doing live videos over pre-recorded, because you're more likely to have that natural you come out? See, I could tell from a professional opinion, I could say, yeah, that's a really great idea to let it happen naturally. But from being on the other end of trying to do it for the first time, I remember how nervous I was. Shaking, nervous, and I can imagine probably everyone goes through the same. You can hear it in your voice, even if you're trying to act like you're not nervous, your voice is still really nervous.
and it puts you off. You forget things, and maybe it just doesn't flow as much. I think if you just accept that it's not going to go perfectly, you're going to stumble on your words, then I suppose, yeah, it's going to be more beneficial when you start just thinking, you know what, forget it, let's just be me and actually say what I need to say. That is when you can be a bit more personal.
Do you think now that people have been using Zoom and things like that for months, though, that people are maybe a bit more used to talking to a camera and talking online?
Yeah, I would, for sure. Maybe not just directly to your phone and saying hello. I think conversations like this people would. Because if it were, say, you and I in a coffee shop filming this, the feel of it might feel completely different. Whereas we're just so used to this concept now of having to stare at each other into a screen, it is a bit more comfortable for one another. What
would you say is the biggest mistake you see with people with their social videos?
I'm a planner, and I do definitely believe people should plan. I think you've ingrained that into me since like day dot of us meeting however long ago, that you have got a plan to some extent in your videos, because otherwise you won't have a direction that you're going into. I mean, apart from that, it's hard because you could say swearing, but if that's the company and how they want to be portrayed, then that's them. You can't criticise that. I would say really a bit too salesy is a big downfall for me. It's like, you're just trying to sell me a product I'm not going to watch because it is of no value. Yeah, you know what? I'd say that's probably the number one biggest mistake. Just trying to sell. I mean, if it's an advert on TV, it's a bit different, isn't it? Because people know that they're
or even on their website.
Yeah, there's some on their website that works, but even then, if you're providing value for people, then that's great. Even if it is selling, but let's say it's a product, for example, you're doing a video of a product review. It's not selling necessarily, it's for just providing value on what you're potentially buying. So there's definitely ways of promoting your product in a way that's just light and easy and not too buy now sort of feel.
You need to get to the social side of things, I think. You know, people, especially on social platforms, they're not coming to you, they're coming on the platform to see what they can find. And so if your content is like, look at me, look at this, then they're going to be like, I don't care about that. Whereas if it's something that they find useful or engaging, then your post is naturally going to grow.
Yeah, and it's telling that story again, isn't it? It's about telling your customer story, and the more value you can provide in any of your content, the better. At the end of the day, people aren't going to pay you for value. They're going to pay you to implement the value you're providing. So if you can get them with all this knowledge that you have, say, here's what you can do, go and implement it. They're going to be like, how do I do this? You know what? They've provided me so much good information that I know is going to work. Why don't you just do it?
Yeah, you do have to be careful at the same time, though, because it can't be seen like that from the customer side. They can't look at it and think, oh, they're only giving me this information so that I give them their business. It's got to be honest and truthful that you actually want to help people and you want to get them to do things themselves.
Yeah, and there's many different sales tricks in the book to do that.
Just be honest.
Yeah, I think
be real.
Exactly. I think I was keeping on the story brand theme. I do a lot of learning that Donald Miller provides, the writer of the book. And he said something at one point going, what's your intent? And apply that into something you do every day. So I have a post-it note on my computer, and it's just got my intent to provide value. And that is all I want to do. I don't care if someone uses me or not. I just want to help people, because the majority of businesses that want to work with us but can't is because they don't have enough money. So if they can at least get some golden nuggets of information from you that's going to help them little by little, day by day, then I've done my job.
Well, thank you for coming on and chatting with us. Where can people find you online?
So my website is wedosocialmedia.co.uk. Our social media channels are just We Do Social Media. Apart from our Instagram, which is wedosocialmedia.co.uk. Our website is going through a rebrand though, so there may be a point where there's that small gap where you'll either get our old one is waiting to be there, or it'll be the new one. So hopefully you'll see the new one soon.
And just to finish off, I'm a member of your social media workouts. Just want to briefly tell people what they're about?
Yes, so every week a group of us come together. At the beginning, we provide a 10-minute education slot almost, where we do some learning. Yourself also as a co-host, you provide education slots on video, myself on social media, and we're also hoping to get a photographer. And we do a bit of networking in between that time. And then after that, we just come together as a group, and opposed to doing a 60 seconds each, apart from the new people at the beginning of the workout, we all use our social media to tell each other what we do, and then we share it amongst ourselves in a group, and then people go on and can engage, like, comment, share. But it's mainly for the group to know the businesses they're in a room with, which has worked really well. I didn't expect people to get leads from this. I just expected people to get maybe higher engagement and learn some stuff from people in the group. But a lot of people, like one of the photographers in the group that's just started, is growing our business really well through the workouts, which I'm loving.
It is good. So where can people find out more about that?
So that would be www.socialmediaworkouts.co.uk.
Cool. I'll leave all, links to all those places in the chat. Thank you for joining us, Elle.
Thank you so much, Dave. It's been great. Thank you.